Hiya too, welcome to today's geography lesson. I saw some absolutely fantastic brochures, posters to do with New Delhi, India, and you're learning about the differences between India, New Delhi and the United Kingdom. Today, this half term, we're going to be moving on to more sort of what we call physical geography, and today we're going to be looking at the continents and the oceans of the Earth. Let me share my screen. So hopefully now you can see my screen. So today we're looking at what and where are the continents and the oceans. Before we do that, let's look at our key words. Continents are a large area of land. Okay. Some people say continents are, oh, it's a place where loads of countries kind of make up a bigger place. A continent isn't necessarily, okay, built up of lots of smaller countries, because one continent is made up of 0 countries, okay, which we'll come on to later. But a continent is a large area of land, okay, a really large area of land. An ocean is a large body of water, and we're going to be looking at a map, which is an accurate plan of an area of land or sea. And we'll look at the fact is there are different type of maps as well. But there are 3 key words today. I say it, you say it. Continent, ocean, map. Well done. So how can we find out where places are located? We use maps to find where places or natural things might be located. A map is a drawing of all or part of the Earth's surface. Its basic purpose is to show where things are. Okay, maps may show visible features such as rivers and lakes, forests, buildings, and roads. Okay, so we use maps to see where things are, and as I said earlier, there's lots of different types of maps. This is what you would call a political map. It shows you where the countries are. Okay, so it hasn't labelled the continents here, it's labelled the countries of the Earth. So that's what you call a political map. When you have a political map on a sphere, we call it a globe. A globe. So they may also show things that cannot be seen, such as boundaries and temperatures. And a boundary is just where 2 countries meet. So if I was looking here where it says Russia, the map shows the boundary of where Russia and Kazakhstan is, and the boundary of where Russia and Mongolia is. Okay, so you can't literally see the boundary. You might have a wall potentially, but a lot of places don't have walls dividing countries, but a map will show you the boundaries of them. Okay, most maps are drawn on a flat surface. Most maps are drawn on a flat surface. A map displayed on a round surface, as I said, is called a globe, and you can see globes here, but most maps are drawn flat. Okay, this political map here showing all the countries of the world on a map is flat. Okay, so we use maps to show many things, but normally we use them to show where things are, such as countries, rivers, oceans, mountains, right? And we also show them to use things like boundaries or maybe temperatures of different countries or the weather, which we'll come on to. So as I said, we have, this would probably be what I'd define as a political map, showing where things are, showing the continents on the Earth as well as the ocean. So this is the sort of map you tend to see when you're in primary school. Okay, it will tell us where things are, and it's useful to know that. Okay, it's useful to know that. But you also get things like a temperature map. So this, I believe, is I guess part of maybe Africa, but this is what you call a weather map. Okay, and you can see that all these countries are experiencing different weather at the moment, but we have a map showing different weather, And this will be constantly be changing as weathers change in different places and as different seasons go through. Okay, I'm unsure what the colours mean. I must admit I took this off Google, this weather map. But what you would have is a key. So green means maybe a storm. Red means maybe a heat wave. I'm not too sure. I'm making these up, but this is a weather map. Okay, so we have different types of maps, and not all maps look the same. We have many different types of maps, but we have maps that show the oceans and show the continents. This map was taken from an atlas. An atlas is a special book. One, if we were in school, you'd all be having an atlas now, okay? But unfortunately, as you know, we're at home. So an atlas is just a special book with lots of different types of mapping. I'll show you an atlas at the end of the lesson. So this was taken from an atlas, okay? A non-fiction book containing maps and information about the Earth. So continents. A continent is a large, expansive area of land. Expansive just means kind of very large. So a continent is a large, expansive area of land. There are only 7 continents in the world, and you can see them here: North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania, and Antarctica. I will now say them and you will repeat after me. Let's go. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania, Antarctica. Brilliant. So a couple of things that will come up. Some might be saying, isn't Central America a continent? Central America is its own kind of area, but it belongs to North America, okay? So it's the southernmost kind of point of North America. Places like Mexico would be in Central America, but it actually belongs to North America from my research. Even I had to read up about all this just to make sure I wasn't misteaching you anything. And another recent one is Oceania here. In a lot of maps, older maps, you just see it's called Australia or Australasia, but now the term people use for this continent is Oceania, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, countries within that continent. Okay, and as I said to you earlier, a continent isn't just a collection of countries, because Antarctica is a continent, and Antarctica doesn't have any countries. It's just the continent itself. All right, there's no country in Antarctica. So the largest continent though is Asia. Asia is the largest continent in the world, and Antarctica is the only uninhabited continent. No one lives really in Antarctica. People will be staying there, but not indefinitely, not forever. People there are scientific bases where people do research, but there isn't what you call an industry there. No one's popping to Starbucks or to their favorite McDonald's or pizzeria or butchers, you know, like you have in Kensal Rise. It's not that sort of place. People don't live there really. Okay, they stay there to do their research, but they've come from South America or North America or Oceania or Asia or Europe or Africa, one of the other continents where people do live. And the other continents are made up of other countries, okay? But that is not what a continent is. A continent is a large, expansive area of land. Please note, the Arctic is not a continent. So important to know that. The Arctic is not a continent. There are 7 continents in the world. How many continents are in the world, year 2? Well done, 7. How many continents are there in the world? 7. Well done. How quickly can you say the 7 continents of the world? How quickly can you say all 7? Pause the video and tell me now. Right, let's see if you do quicker than me. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania, Antarctica. There we go. And there's a different type of map here highlighting Asia. So, task 1. What I'd like you to do on your worksheet is to label the 7 continents on your map. Label the 7 continents on your map. So what I'd like you to do is label the 7 continents on your map. You have here the continents are in red. Now, if you don't have a printer, don't worry. I do not have a printer. That's why I've labeled them with numbers. On a piece of paper, you can write the number 1 and then write what continent that is. Okay, you can write 1 and then what continent that is. So I will show you just to make sure we understand what I mean. I've labelled here 1 to 7. 1 to 7. So looking at the map on the screen, which you obviously can't see right now, I know number 1, that looks like number 1 is Asia. And make sure we have a capital letter for our continents. If you have the map, you can write it on it. If you don't, I've labelled 1 to 7 for the 7 continents, and you can just number them here. Okay, so please do that. I will leave this on the screen to help you out. Okay, so hopefully you finished labeling our continents. Okay, hopefully you've now labeled North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania and Antarctica. Remember, there are 7 continents of the world. 7 continents of the world. So oceans of the world. Remember, we know an ocean is a large area of water. And we know there are 5 major oceans, 5 oceans on planet Earth. Okay, so oceans of the world. There are 5 oceans in the world, although they are all linked. What does that mean? For example, if I had unlimited energy and I could survive sub-freezing temperatures, I could swim from the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, all the water in the world is connected. You could swim around it all or sail around it if you wanted to. Okay, you do not need to cross land to get from the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Indian Ocean. The oceans make up about 70% or 7/10 of the world's surface. So if you drew a bar model and you divided that bar into 10 equal parts and then shaded in 7, you would see how much of the Earth is made up by water. The largest ocean on Earth is the Pacific. And I think it's important here to point out it's not the Pacific Ocean. It is Pacific. It starts with a P, Pacific Ocean. Now let's go through and say all the oceans. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Southern Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean. Well done. So the largest ocean is the Pacific Ocean. And you're saying, Mr. Wernig, I can see the Pacific Ocean twice on this map. Well, it's only once. It's just remember, the Earth is not flat. Although we thought it many, many years ago, and some people still do for some reason, but the Earth is not flat. It is spherical. The Pacific Ocean starts here on the west coast of Africa and the west coast of the USA, and it goes all the way around to Oceania and Asia. So it starts on the west coast of South America and the west coast of North America, and it goes all the way around, okay, to the east coast of Oceania and the east coast of Asia. So that's what's happening. It doesn't. There aren't 2 Pacifics. It's 1 Pacific, and it's the biggest ocean. The Atlantic Ocean, it goes between Europe. It's between Europe here and also between North America. Okay, between South America and Africa. So if you ever flew to America from the UK, you would be flying over the Atlantic Ocean. To go from London to New York, you fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, and we must remember, planet Earth is mostly made up of water. So they are the 5 oceans there. What I'd like you to do now is label those 5 oceans on your map. can you label the major oceans on your map? And you can see here we have the oceans in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do not have this printed, you can just write the numbers 1 to 5 down and label them like you did with the continents. Okay. So what is ocean 1? To do that, you can use the PowerPoint here. Off you go. Pause the video now. Well done. Today you have labelled the continents of Earth, the 7 continents of planet Earth, and the 5 oceans. As an extension, what you can do now is use the home learning. I've put a photo of a map up. Can you name one country in each of the continents? If the continent does not have a country, you can just write 0 or NA for not applicable. So there we go. The extension is on the home learning, and you need to find one country in each continent. Okay, one country in each continent. Anyway, see you later. Bye bye.